Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. How are you all? How's everyone doing tonight?
Very good. Good evening.
Hi, Kendra.
Good evening.
Welcome, everyone.
Hi, Carolette. Hi, Dr. Teresa, Stephanie. Come on in. We got a really important conversation to talk about tonight. Your network, your net worth. You all see everything that's happening in the world, in this country, and we cannot be haphazard in our strategies. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, building your network, building your relationships. We're going to walk away with some actual tools that are some steps that we're going to take as a group in order to strengthen our networking. And we have an excellent speaker tonight. So let me just start out. You can tell how excited I am because I'm just starting. I'm starting to talk. We're going to get started. So good evening, everybody. And I know we're live streaming on social media. So let me introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Melissa Muhammad, and I am the founder and CEO of the Black and Global Business Network. We are an international business development firm, and our goal is to help Black-owned businesses to scale globally. So I'm an international tax attorney, and I am so happy, grateful, and thankful to build a business where we can serve our own people, our own businesses to help us to grow around the globe. So tonight we're going to have a really important conversation that is going to be around networking. And we're going to have a very important group to join us tonight, the World Conference of Mayors. Put in the chat if you have heard, put a one if you've heard of the World Conference of Mayors. Put a one in the chat if you have previously heard of the World Conference of Mayors. Really? No one has heard of them? Oh, wow. This is exciting. So no one has heard. Okay, this is really great because when we talk about the World Conference of Mayors, who they are, what their relationships are, and why it's important to you to be connected to their relationships and connected to them, they are a group that definitely they're going to help you to grow. So tonight's topic is about your network, your net worth, and putting yourself in a position to move yourself around the globe. So first, I'm going to talk about networking, and then Kendra, who is from Bridge Foundation, she's an ambassador to the World Conference of Mayors. She's going to talk about networking as well. And then what we're going to do is give you all some tools to walk away from to actually start to implement to start networking. So first, any of us who are I think one of the greatest mistakes that we make is having the Superman or the Superwoman complex where we can do it all by ourselves. We don't need help. We don't need to ask for help. And we just go out and figure this out as we go along. But people have done business long before us, and there's a system to why some people are successful and other people are not. If you look at the business statistics, only 50% of businesses make it to year 5. And I just looked at these stats yesterday because I wanted to understand what has adjusted in the stats in terms of small businesses. And if you're in a position to make it to year 5, I thought it was much less than that. I thought 80% was gone after year 1. But the recent stats say 20% of businesses are done after year 1. 80% of the businesses survive. And then by the time you get to year 5, 50% have survived. And by the time you get to year 10, you're talking about 15% of businesses. So if you're building a business for the long haul, domestically and internationally, one of the things that we promote is one, you must build in the US and in other countries. And two, you need to develop a network in the US and other countries. And I'm going to share some examples of what that looks like. So as you start to build out your network, the key strategies, I think one of the big mistakes that we make, or I've made, and I literally just made this mistake, like literally, which is what prompted me to focus on, okay, Melissa, I made this mistake. It's an expensive mistake. And I don't want to have our businesses to be in the position to make the mistake that I just made. And this is a situation where I have a client. We are in the process of closing out a loan for a really large project. It's 8 figures. And I wanted to get verification about the lender, and I wanted to find someone who could get me some intel on the lender. Now, strategy number one is the relationship with the US government, because that is a relationship in terms of what we do. Because if you're doing international business, I highly recommend that you have the US Commercial Services as a part of your team, because if you want to investigate, look at, get information on a business, a buyer, a lender, a funder, you can reach out to the U.S. Commercial Services in your city or closely covering your city. You can say, hey, I have this person, partner, business that I want to get some information on. And you can do what's called an international company profile. And you can do a full one, which is $700, or you can do a partial one, which is $150. So instead of, me as an individual trying to figure out who this person is all on the other side of the world, it's like a credit check on steroids. That's what it's called. And you can basically have it done anonymously. If you want it to be anonymous, meaning you give the government that person or business's name, and they will do it anonymous. That's the partial one. Or if you want them to do a full one, you can give them the name, and they will literally go get all the financial information on the company. They will meet with the principals for the company. They will interview them, and they will give us a determination as to the credit worthiness that they find for this particular business, all for $700. So, but what did Melissa do? Melissa went to somebody that I know, and I asked her, she's somebody I met with, and I know her in terms of networking. She invited me to come to this event with the richest people in this particular country, right? So again, that's networking. And she invited me to be a part of this, I guess, cadre of people, because they look for projects to invest in. So I called her and asked her for some information on this particular company. And I asked her for something. I wanted something from her. And I just kept talking about what I wanted, what I needed. And that was the classic mistake, because when you're networking and you're going to form relationships with someone, what is key is that you go with what you're offering and what you can do to help that person and how you can help that person to achieve their goal. And so what did that turn into? And it was so funny because she kept telling me what it is that she's focused on, where she's focused. And that should have been a hint to me that I need to look at where can I support her and her needs. But I was so frustrated in the process of doing this project. All I did was focus on my needs. That is a classic mistake. And that cost us a lot of time. Fortunately, it didn't cost money, but it did end up costing us a lot of time. So I'm not coming to you to give you or preach to you. I'm telling you mistakes that I know that I have made. And I thought, wow, this is a great opportunity for us to talk about and tools for you to expand your own network. So, so Kendra, can you share with us and talk about your experience with networking, positive things you've done, mistakes you may have made, differences you wish you would have done?
Well, first, always show up at events. And when someone invites you, just show up, Melissa. And that will begin the gateway of my story with becoming the ambassador for the Kunta region in the Gambia. One of my clients invited me to become a member of the World Conference of Mayors, and I said,
Mm-hmm.
what does the World Conference of Mayors have to do with me?" But then I put on my marketing hat. Okay, I'm working with this particular museum, and I show up at an event in Orlando, Florida, and I get an opportunity to meet Mayor Jarara, which is the mayor of the Kuntar region in the Gambia, over 150,000 people, 10 wards just by showing up. So the biggest that nugget that I can give is showing up for events. And it's really about being connected with the right people. And
Mm-hmm.
once they connect you in the room, it's your responsibility to stay in the room. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what happened to me. I ended up meeting Mayor Gerard at an event and going strictly to support my client, to
Mm-hmm.
support the mayors and helping them learn to use videos to do advertising and promote the activities that are going on in their municipalities. And I
Mm-hmm.
did not know that I was going to run across Mayor Gerard, and the rest is history. He told me what was going on in the villages, and he pulled on my heart because I'm a female, and we all know the great thing about having a cycle or menstrual cycle during that particular month. Well, it's phasing out for me, but for the ones that are on the call, if you're still dealing with that, you understand what monthly and what you need. And so he told me the need, and I answered the challenge. So it's showing up for events. Always show up.
Okay, I'm real bad about that. I mean, when I tell you I listen, I don't even know what my issue is. I just, you know, it's just a cajillion events. People are constantly you we get a lot of requests requests to speak, requests to go to different countries, requests to go to different embassies. I wish I could deputize all of you all.
Right.
I would love to deputize you all and send you all because it's a lot. And I don't know what you know, I'm just not necessarily a fan of going out. I need to improve, Kendra. I definitely need to improve. It's fortunate that we've been able to grow and we're at the point where, we get a lot of contracts, but like literally people, and I'm just this bad in working because if someone would say, "Oh, Melissa, can you go to Italy for such and such and such and such?" I say, "No, I don't want to go to Italy. I don't want to go, like so I have to really work on myself to get myself to go to participate in events because I do get a lot of requests like that to go to embassy events and like the city councilwoman here she is the councilwoman for the county that I live in. So now listen, she called me and said, "Melissa, the president of the DRC is going to be here. And we want to put some Maryland businesses, they want to meet with Maryland businesses. Can you come to the event?" Y'all don't understand how my hair was being pulled out. And I'm far from introverted. And I just did not want to go. And so my husband asked me, "Why don't you want to go?" And I told her, because it's just going to be more work. I'm just going to go there and meet more people, and it's going to be more work. And I am the kind of person that if you give me 8 projects, I want to close those projects. I'm not going to chase money. I'm not going to chase getting more clients. I'd rather spend my time focused on closing. But I went because she asked me to go. And when I went, what happened? We got more projects. So and then I have to think about the members because it opened doors for you all. So that's the other piece, the other side of that. But I think you're right, Kendra. But I know for me personally, I really have to work on that. Go ahead.
Right. I just wanted to piggyback off what you just said. It's not even for you, it's for your members. So for
Mm-hmm.
every day that you show up, you're opening up a door, you're making a connection for your members.
Mm-hmm.
And I do understand the work and I understand the level of excellence that you work. And I would just say, remember the people that are behind you. And
Yeah.
it's never for us, it always will be for someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. And I think I just came up with a good idea to create Black and Global ambassadors. I just thought of that.
And
I
I'm going to
literally,
confirm with you because that's exactly what God gave me. And now that's your confirmation right there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a great idea because that way people who have been through our process and our training and they have our mindset, it's an opportunity if they go for themselves to open a door from themselves, but also then to promote for Black and Global and whoever else may want to attend. So I'm gonna Precious, if you can make a note of that, and then what we can start to do is talk to the members about, when we get opportunities, who would like to go and, take advantage of these particular invitations that we have. So that will address that issue. See how we just fixed that in networking just that fast. Um, okay. Anybody else want to comment on networking and what any mistakes or pros or cons that you've done to build your network or keep your network?
I can speak.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
I would say my biggest mistake is not being prepared, like not knowing what to say, not knowing how to pitch my value.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to have a great conversation. I know how to do that. That's the easy part. However, it's the connection, like what is our commonality as to why we are even going to stay connected. I would say
Mm-hmm.
that was my biggest mistake in the beginning. So I've had my business for 6 years now, but it has not scaled because I have not been in places to network bigger, and
Mm.
that's where I'm in the process of learning now.
Okay. And what's your business again, Stephanie?
I am a literary editor, so I have a editing, writing, and ghostwriting service.
Okay. And so what does scaling look like for you?
Getting hiring is
Mm-hmm.
failing for me. So hiring so that I can take on more clients, especially more big ticket clients, because right
Mm-hmm.
now it's just me and
Mm-hmm.
I can only do but so much
Mm-hmm.
at one time, as well as leaving my 9 to 5. I'm a teacher, I'm an educator. So leaving my business, my 9 to 5 altogether and fully focusing on my business is what scaling would mean to me. So being able to hire, being able to say not have to say no to clients and just flourishing in that way.
Okay. So I'm going to really encourage you to reach out to Dr. Teresa. She was an educator, assistant principal, I think an assistant superintendent, and she was able to do what you're saying. Leave and take do her business full time. So she would be a great person for you to network with, right? And put and get to know of how to do that. Anybody else a third comment before we go to the next part on networking?
And I would say what has helped me with that, and I would love to connect with you. So I'm gonna send you my information because I want to connect with you because I understand that. And for me, what has because this was a mistake, I made a similar mistake. And a piece of advice that someone gave me is research where you're going and some people that you would could possibly run into. That way you're semi prepped when you go there and you can kind of start thinking about some of the conversation starters that you can have related to that event and the people that you expect to see there.
Excellent idea. And that's a great segue into what our next step part of the conversation is, which are practical steps. So the first thing I'm going to encourage us all to do is, and Precious, if you can put his name in the chat, is to read a book by Dr. George Fraser, F A R Fraser. Many many of us know him, but I'm going to encourage you to read his latest book, which is called Click, Click. He also, the other book I read by him is Success Runs in Our Race. And I'm going to encourage you to watch at least 5, and this is in the next 30 days, 5 YouTube videos by Dr. Fraser. And the reason that I'm telling you that is because he is the father of networking. He is the father of teaching you how to build wealth by networking. And I have learned a tremendous amount from him in terms of how to grow and serve people around you. Most of us understand the concept of servant leadership. And particularly in our community and in this economy, servant leadership is what's going to put you ahead of most other people, because it's just a challenging time in the world, and having people that have the spirit of service, the heart of service, is going to set you apart. So that's the first step, Dr. George Fraser. Here's number 2. What we're going to do is build a targeted network map. So some people will call this their dream list of 100 clients. Put in the chat if you've ever heard that concept of where you build a dream list of the 100 clients, that if these are the dream people that you would love to serve with your business. Well, my approach is a little bit different. Mine is doing a targeted network map. It's just not about random names, right? We are looking for people who actually move money and opportunities. And so the 4 people that you're looking for are, you want to be in the room with decision makers. You want to be in the room with connectors, 4 people who introduce you to people. You want to be in the room with capital providers, and you want to be in the room with industry insiders. Now, what do those 4 pieces look like? These are the 4 legs of your networking table. And so decision makers are people who are making buying decisions. Those are the people that you actually want to be able to get to. And you want to have connectors, people who can introduce you. And I'm going to show you a shortcut way to get all of them in one space, right? So, but you got to be clear about which prong that they're fitting in for you. And so a connector are people who introduce you to deals. Like Black and Global, we are connectors. We are people who we find projects and we connect people to projects. The next person you want to find is a capital provider, a lender or investor. Now, please hear me when I say this. I think this is one of the weakest legs that I see in most of our businesses, is being financially ready and going through the process of meeting with lenders, meeting with banks, meeting with investors, because you don't want anybody to see what your profit and loss statement looks like. You don't want people to see how many mistakes you've made. Like, other people aren't making mistakes. Let me raise my hand. And anybody that tell you that they've built a business and they have not made any mistakes, I want you to hold on to your wallet and clutch your purse and run, because that person ain't telling you the truth. So it's typically fear, and you don't want people to know where you were or where you are. And I was the exact same way, and until I went to this SBDC, the government, and I had, was talking to the financial person about our business, and we were in a loss. We were losing money. This is when we first started out, and I was bootstrapping the business, and we weren't making any money. And I was like, okay, what could my P&L what could my profit and loss look like? It's going to be loss and loss. And so I told him I didn't want to take out a loan. I didn't want to borrow money. I'd rather just work and take the money out of my pocket. And what he's, it's still to this day, it sticks with me when he said, you're very selfish and self-centered, and you are only thinking about yourself. He said, what about the business is only going to be limited to the income that you can spare? But what about all the people you have to serve? What about all the people that need your service? You mean you just gonna focus on what you can do? I said, wow, that's kind of cold, brother. But you know, I took what he said. But from that, what I learned was, one, to ask questions, and two, that doing a line of credit is different from taking out a loan, and that I did not have to borrow money in order to be in a position to use it if I needed it. And that was a key differentiator for me. So I learned to have capital providers. And even for projects that we do, and for the large dollar projects, you know, the strategy that we put in place was to find project funding partners. So we find people who work with different lenders, investment bankers that are looking to invest into projects. Now, like again, Kendra, this is one of my weaknesses. I don't want to go out and meet with all of these funders and go to all of these events and do all of this. So the funding partners that I chose, they go and do all of that. But it was imperative so that we can close projects that we actually had people who were able to get us the capital or the investors that we needed for projects. And then the fourth is industry insiders. And these are people who know what's coming to the market and what's going to hit. So in your state and in your county and in your city, here are the steps to take for those 4 people. If your network does not include people who provide contracts and capital, it's not a growth network, it's a social club. If your network does not include people who connect you to contracts and capital, it's not a growth network, it's a social club. So you are only going to focus on building your network around people connected to contracts and capital. Now, here's the first person that I want you, out of those 4 positions, that you have to know. You, in the governor's office in your state, there is a person who is in charge of the budget for the state. Identify who that person is. And I want you to schedule coffee or lunch to go and meet with that person or someone on their team. Why? Because that is the industry insider who knows what's coming down the pike. Because every dollar that your state receives, every dollar that is allocated from the Fed comes through the governor's office. And all of that money is allocated through the budget that the governor's office does. So the governor is on the same level as you are. She or he puts their pants on the same way you put your pants on. They just have a greater responsibility than you have. But meeting that person who is on the budgeting team, and what you tell that person is, you want to understand how the allocation process works for when the state gets money coming from the federal level to the state level. And you want them to share with you how it works. Now, why is that important? Because when that person, and as a part of this conversation, you talk about who you are, what you do, how you're able to build your business, and how you want to grow your business. But this person is a government executive, and that person's job is to serve the people. And that person can help you understand what grants, what money is coming through grants, what money is coming through roads, what money is coming through infrastructure. And this is something that you will be able to use so that you will know in your state what's available. Now, the other thing I'm going to share with you to do is, in your state, there is a Chamber of Commerce. Now, I highly recommend that you need to get on the email list for your Chamber of Commerce, because hear me when I tell you, when the governor's office has excess money at the end of December and they don't want to send that money back to the feds, they are going to go through the chambers of commerce to identify people that have been vouched for. And it's very rare that if you're not vouched for, they're not going to give you the opportunity. I can't tell you how many people I have met where it was the end of the year and they had to get rid of the money, and by that, I mean allocate it out. Let me say it like that, that they are in a position to actually help you with getting part of those funds. So key number one is you have to know those 4 people. Number one is Dr. George Fraser. Number 2 is you're going to build a targeted network map. And those 4 categories of people are the people that you're going to identify for you to network with. Number 3 is to lead with value, not need. That's the mistake I was telling you that I made. So most small businesses network backwards. They show up asking for something, right? That's what I am encouraging you not to make that mistake. But instead, you flip it. You share opportunities, you make introductions, you send useful market intel, you highlight somebody else's work. So this positions you as a deal source, not a deal seeker. So what ends up happening is, like Dr. Teresa said, if you're going to a particular place and you don't know who's there, you do research. You literally research who's going to be there, what this is about, and you find at least 3 people at that event that you're going to meet. And social media will give you enough information to let you know what that person might be interested in. And you are looking for something that might assist that person. You lead with value, not with need. And if this person is someone who represents, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say that this person sits on the board of a nonprofit, Stephanie, a nonprofit that helps authors, as an example. Oh, I'll give you an even better person. We have a client. She has a business where she helps authors to turn their books into a, what do you call it? A whole video production. And when I tell you she's so far out there, I cannot even keep up. But she has a whole cadre of people who have come to her, but they haven't written their books yet because they want to use her service, but she's only going to work with you once your book has been written. But if you can offer her something to help her, make an introduction for her to someone, you can connect someone that has already written a book, that you have helped them to put their book out. If you can connect her to that opportunity, you can say to her, hey, if there's any other time that you meet people and they have not written their book, you can feel free to shoot them my way and I can assist them with writing their book. You see? So now you're leading with the opportunity to help her as opposed to just asking for something for her. All right, so our guest speaker has arrived, and so I'm gonna give you one more tip, and then Dr. Mbinga, we're gonna bring you on to talk about your relationships and building, and I'm gonna introduce him to everyone shortly. So the fourth thing to do is to systematize your outreach, and I learned this from Dr. Fraser. Dr. Fraser is someone who, 50 plus years he's been in business and doing networking, and he will give you his personal phone number. Like, he will give you his personal phone number. And he says, people ask him, how can you give out your personal phone number? And he said, because every place I go, most people aren't going to call me. They're not going. So he teaches you that the fortune is in the follow-up. And that's something that we have incorporated in Black and Global. The fortune is in the follow-up. So you need a follow-up system that is very systematic. And this is one that has worked for me. So you do 4 personalized messages where you check in with people, or you might share some insights. So that could be an email. It might be an article you saw. I'm great with YouTube videos. If I see a YouTube video about something related to somebody, I will shoot them the YouTube video. Next, you make 2 phone calls. Now, I'm not great with that. That's probably my weakest link, but I really strive to make 2 phone calls every week. And then 1 strategic introduction, just connect 2 people. I'm very strong in that area. I will definitely connect people twice a week. And it doesn't even have anything to do with me. A lot of times, what you have to do is you have to develop the instinct. Like, for example, my boys are playing basketball at a basketball camp this summer. Someone else, I thought, hey, they might be interested in the basketball camp. So I connected the camp person to this person because I continue to build my muscle of connecting people. Like, I don't get anything out of it, except that I keep strengthening myself in that area to make that introduction. Because if you make it systematic, like the messaging I put on the calendar, I do it the same time every single week. The phone calls are on the calendar. I don't make those every week. But the strategic introductions I do. So that's 4 messages a week to check in and to share information with other people, 2 direct phone calls or conversations, and 1 strategic connection where you're connecting 2 people. So those are the steps, practical steps and strategies that you can utilize in the next 30 days. And we're encouraging you to start to do that, to start to implement that so that you can get your muscle really, really strong and actually building your network. So with that, now we're going to turn to having our guest speaker come on tonight. Dr. Abdoulaye, you there? Oh, he's there. How are you, Dr. Abdoulaye?
Actually, I'm doing good. I'm still in Senegal. Not feeling well today. That's why I actually gave you the best guest speaker that you can ever imagine. She's also my mentor. She's a board member at the World Conference of Mayors. And I did send her resume to Miracle. We also have Dr. Kendra. But she's one of the key board members at the World Conference of Mayors, the closest advisor to the president and to all of us. As I said, she has 3 doctorates. She's a journalist. She's a prolific writer. She writes for most of the Black journals in the country.
Wow.
I'll just let her, because I cannot do her service. Queen Mother, Dr. Ambassador Ife William, can you please introduce yourself and just give us your take on the power of networking? I can do with you around. I just want to listen.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Ming. When I need a publicist, I'm certainly going to choose you because you do a great job. I was listening to the sister who was talking, and she was just giving so much great information. It so happens that I know Dennis very well. I knew him when he was just getting started. So I'm glad you're in connection with him. And thank you so much, Sister. And I wanted to say hello to Sister Melissa Muhammad. I don't know if she's still on, but if so, I want to bring you greetings from Mayor Ford and all the members of the World Conference of Mayors. I am so happy that you've agreed to work with us on the program, the Cycle for Success program. That's one of Ambassador Kendra Phipps' great works that she has brought us to. And we just look forward to having as many sisters and brothers as we can to help us with that project. It's very important. All of us are concerned about the education of our young sisters everywhere, no matter where they are. So let us learn to do what the sister who was just talking about is networking, and she was teaching us something very important in terms of how we can do that. We in the World Conference of Mayors represent people, or our people all across this world. And so we can be stronger when we work together, when we look out for one another, and when we can just bring what we know to someone else. We can always teach someone something, and we can always learn something from them. So please, let's keep each other's numbers, keep each other's emails, our WhatsApp, whatever, so that we can communicate. That's one of the great things that's going on now. We're able to communicate with people wherever they are. And when you need help, reach out to somebody. There's always somebody. In the World Conference of Mayors, Ambassador Kendra can tell you that, and we're always willing no matter what. And then if I may insert a little personal thing, right now I'm in the midst, I heard you talking about books and publishing. I'm in the midst of putting my book out, which is just called This Is Me, and it's my life story to this point. And I say to this point because I've still got a lot of things I want to do, even though Dr. Ming was telling you about all these degrees and all these titles I have. And I kind of jokingly say to my friends, well, you can call me Her Excellence Ambassador, Queen Mother, her, Reverend Triple, he forgot my Reverend, Triple Doctor E. Fay Williams, Esquire. But all of that means nothing if I don't help someone and I don't seek the
Right.
help from them to do even more, because we can be stronger when we are together. And so please call on me. Ambassador Kendra always knows how to reach me. Dr. Ming knows how to reach me. And of course, Mayor Ford wanted me to say hello to all of you and to thank you for everything you're doing to make this world a better place for any of our people that we can. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I'm so glad to be on with you and listening to the kinds of things you're doing. And if I can fit in any way, please let me know. And don't forget, my book is This Is Me. And it tells about my ups and downs and the difficult things I've gone through, but have been able to succeed. Even if you look at the case in Louisiana now, where they're taking away some of the voting rights of our people. Actually, I was the first Black person to even run for the United States Congress in Louisiana. The area they're arguing over now, or did rule on at the Supreme Court, that's where I ran for office. No Black person in my state had ever run for the United States Congress. I ran, and for the very first time, received 97,000 votes. I was announced as the winner, and there was a mysterious computer breakdown. And when it came back on, I was told I lost by less than 0.5%. The people before me who ran usually got 35,000. Boy, I got 97,000. But do you think I'm going to give up just because I was cheated out of an election? Because others have come after me. New Orleans never, it had more Black people in it there, but had never run for Congress. And now, since I ran, every 2 years, they have sent someone to Congress from Louisiana. And the young man whose district was kind of eliminated yesterday, he ran after I ran. I hope I taught him a lot, and I hope he knows how to fight to hold on to it. So keep an eye on that case, because it's going to be very important to our people all across this country, I know. And I thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. My book can be found by anyone who has the time to read it. It's in ebook, it's in hard copy, soft copy, and it's in my name, just Dr. abbreviated, Dr. E. Fay Williams, ESQ.org. Dr. E. Fay, F-A-Y-E, Williams, ESQ.org. And thank you for listening and giving me an opportunity. And Sister Muhammad, I just want to
Yes,
say hello,
yes, ma'am.
a special hello to you. All right. I look forward to
Absolutely.
working.
Yes, ma'am.
And if I have to leave the call, it's because I'm still trying to get my book out there.
Yes, ma'am. Well,
But I'm going to
let
stay
me.
around for a while.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Ife Williams, for joining us. That was actually me talking earlier about networking. And so
Okay.
if you can share, tell us what the World Conference of Mayors is and what
Mhm.
you all do.
Right. We bring all of the mayors who want to join, and that's most of them. Many of them are in the southern states of the United States. And we are a service organization. We help them to do a better job in their communities. We have leadership classes. We have conferences. We have one going on, as a matter of fact, starting tomorrow in Talladega, which is where Mayor Johnny Ford is from, who started the World Conference of Mayors. We now have a woman who is in charge of it, Mayor McCrory, who is from Alabama. She's a mayor in Alabama. We have people not just from the state of Alabama, but mayors from all over the country who want to join. Many of them tend to be from small countries, and they welcome the help of those of us who are not mayors, but we have skills and talents that can help them. So anyone who wants to belong, if it's someone who has a business and they want to come to tell the mayors about their business, sometimes we don't know everything. We don't know everything about artificial intelligence and all these new things that come up. But we have people who come on and talk with us about those things and teach us. And then those of us who are not mayors, we try to help those mayors in their city for whatever of the talents we have that we can help them. And we promote them. I have them on my radio program to talk about their programs. I write about them sometimes, and that's what everybody else. I think I'm in charge of those who are not mayors. I believe I'm co-chair of that committee. So we hope that you will want to come on to the World Conference of Mayors. We invite everybody. Mayor Ford loves to have people come on and join our group. And if you have a skill or a talent or a business that you want us to know about, we welcome that. So feel free
And
to call me anytime or be in touch with me.
so I think last year, I was indoctrinated in Black and
Yeah.
Global at the World Conference of Mayors. And the
Mhm.
thing that struck me was one, that it was a collection of mayors and
Mhm.
Black mayors from different cities. And
Mhm.
initially I thought it was just in the US, but it's
Oh
actually
no.
it's actually mayors right all over the world.
That's
And
correct. Yes.
and so for the mayors to be sitting in this position, when I went to the conference, the World Conference of Mayors conference, I was just struck by, I'm actually sitting with the political heads, current and former political heads of many cities.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just sharing with everyone of how you have to learn how to trace the money, Dr. Ife, from the feds and how it's allocated down to the states, so
Mm-hmm.
that you can be in line to get those funds. And the mayors understand that process. So
Mm-hmm.
many times the mayors have different help that they need in their city, different support that they're looking for. And what I
Yes.
think has been great is that by joining the World Conference of Mayors, we're actually able to access the mayors to actually
Yes.
talk about, what do you need? How can we help? This is what I do. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's how I actually got connected with Kendra and the Bridge
Mm-hmm.
Foundation, was by
Mm-hmm.
taking what we do at Black and Global and helping to be able to expand the Cycle for Success program. And so
Absolutely.
it's a great opportunity. And the other thing, Dr. Minga is the Director General. You all have a sister city program. Is that right?
Yes, we have that.
Yeah.
We have a trust program. We have what we call our 7 T's, and
Mhm.
it's our way of working with and helping one another.
Right. And so so having the sister cities, for example, Dr. Abdullah, you shared that there was a sister city in China.
As
Okay.
a ma- and
Yeah, yeah.
as Yeah, as a matter of fact, we have a big trip planned to China again. Dr. Ming set up one for us quite a little while ago, and there's another one set up for anyone who wishes to go. And if you want to do that, I'll be happy, as I'm sure Dr. Ming will be, to send you the information for that one. It's coming up in June, I believe. Yes.
Right.
Yes, yeah. Yes, we are been invited in June 14 to the 18. to be part of this dialogue between some of the local leaders in China. That China is a friendship with as a country, and local leader in the United States. The one thing I wanted to add, and as you can see, she was the right speaker. Is that one of the vision for the World Conference of Mayors, which has been set up earlier by our founder, Johnny Ford, and Honorable Mayor Emeritus today, Johnny Ford. He's one of the earliest Black mayors in the 70s.
Yes.
The first Black mayor in Tuskegee, and he's been mayor for over 32 years, not at once but combined. And
Yes.
when he realized, when he first became mayor, there wasn't many mayors in the Black community. And right there, he made a decision. How can I empower as a young man and woman to run for office? And that's actually still the core foundation for the World Conference of Mayors. So I was asking the question the other day, we are building our strategic plan, and I said, Mayor Ford, what is our core competency? What do we have is so unique that is, that we offer? What is our value proposition, to speak your language? He said to me, he paused and said, conferencing. I said, I don't get it. Conferencing, Mayor Ford? He said, the art of conferencing. And then I said, can you please elaborate? But after he explained to me that conferencing is just about connecting people. It's about networking. It is about capacity building.
Yes.
And he said that through this conference, what do? We exchange, we share, and that's actually in one of the conference that we have the Tuskegee Declaration. And the Tuskegee Declaration now is expanding on what we call our 7 T's, which are the 7 pillars of the organization. And Master Ife just mentioned. And the first T is about trust. How do we build trust among ourselves? Not just locally, but globally. And the second T is about trade. How do we trade among ourselves around the world? And the third T is about tourism. We know that tourism is one easy way, for people to get to know one another, to discover. And through tourism, it's also economic empowerment. And then we talked about twinning. How do we create sister city between cities here, even in the United States, but around the world? And that's what we're trying to do in China. Then we added technology transfer. How do we create solidarity between those cities that are more developed than others? That how do we transfer knowledge from both ways? Because we just worked on a grant that Dr. Kendra led, and that grant was about transferring knowledge on healthcare and equity from Africa to the United States. Therefore, knowledge is not just being talking knowledge transfer. It's not just from the West to the South, but it can be also from both ways. And then we talked about treasury. How do we help municipality better manage fund or have access to money? But one of the key that we operate, Ambassador Ife Williams as an educator, myself as an educator, is about training. And that's why we have what we call the Mayor Joint Leadership Institute. And Ambassador Ife Williams is really very instrumental of having this organization that build capacity. And we organize leadership training every year. And we plan to now expand it to have one in the United States, one in Africa, one in the Caribbean, and one in either in Europe or in Asia. And that's really, but we ended up last year launching what we call the Tuskegee Declaration. And the Tuskegee Declaration is really based on this ancient African philosophy, Ubuntu. I am because we are. And we try to use that declaration to demonstrate we are all interconnected, all interrelated. And we develop like these 4 areas. The first one is that many of these municipalities are facing major crises. And how do we collaborate to exchange ideas to address this crisis? Then we talk about the need for solidarity, because these municipalities have different level of development, of resources, of knowledge. How do we make sure that they share what they have and they strengthen one another? But one of the most important area is when we talk about fraternity, understanding that we are all part of the human race. How can we take care of each other? How can we support each other? And how can we accept each other rather than seeing differences as a threat? but how do we embrace it? And that's really what we do. The ideal, our goal for Mayor's Forum is to create the United Nations of Cities. That is the bold ambition for the World Conference of Mayors. Thank you.
And then we have the big meeting in August in Atlanta, where we meet brothers and sisters from all over the world. And I had mentioned the China trip. One of the good things about it, Dr. Ming can tell you, is that all the person who's going has to do is buy your ticket to get there. And everything, once you get to China, is taken care of: your hotel, your food, your transportation, everything. So that's something you can ask other questions about. But we hope you'll continue to come on our meetings. Now, tomorrow, we're opening the meeting in Tuskegee, and it will be Zoom. It's just in the morning, I believe, most of it that's Zoom. Much of the afternoon, they'll be taking trips around Tuskegee and learning all about what's going on there. And there's just a lot going on. Young people who want to be pilots can study at Tuskegee. Just so much. Their business is growing in Tuskegee. Mayor Ford, even though he's no longer the mayor, you would think he is, because he's always looking for a program and for people to come to Tuskegee. So if you haven't been, I certainly hope that you will get to the meeting in August, I believe. And from that meeting, they do take a trip to Tuskegee. I've been so many times. I think I'm going to go straight to Atlanta this year. But there's just so much, and we have so much camaraderie in our group. We call each other, we rely on each other, all hours of the day, the night, whatever. We help each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's where we have to get to, where we reach out and we ask, right? We reach out and we connect, and we reach out and we share. So
Yes.
how can we get the information for anyone that might be interested in following up with you? Because we are broadcasting live on social media. So, and then we also send this out to our membership after this event is over. So how can anyone who's interested in learning more about the World Conference of Mayors, joining the World Conference of Mayors, how can they reach out to you all?
Sure. I gave you the information regarding my book, but my website is pretty much like that. My personal website, it's Dr. E. Faye Williams, ESQ. What is it, Dr. Ming? At what? Is that something? .com, actually. I forget. My book is .org, and my other address. But my phone number is, it's available.
Wait, hold on. Well, I don't know if we want to give out your number. I don't know if we want to.
But Dr. Kendra just posted, Ambassador Dr. Kendra, she is also our marketing and communication, director. Right. She just posted website address, and I think that could be plenty. And you have access to all of us. Miracle have access to my, WhatsApp, Dr. Kendra, anything. And you yourself, Dr. Mohammed, you are the executive advisor to the World Conference of Mayors. I don't know why are you asking. You are one of us. Just in case you have forgotten, you are one of us. They can reach out to you, and you can reach out to all of us.
They definitely can. And I am an advisor, definitely so, to the World Conference of Mayors. And so look how our network has grown. So by becoming a part of the World Conference of Mayors, now this is what we were talking about earlier, about having connectors, about having people who connect you. Because now, Dr. Teresa, I'm going to really encourage you to join the World Conference of Mayors, because all of the work that you've done in Mississippi, that's quite incredible. I'm sure they need the same services in Alabama. So, yes. And you definitely can reach out to provide your services. And it's the same with all of you, because listen, when you have people who want to help you, when you're talented, that's why we're going to lead with what we can do. When you are talented, you can really change the community and change the world by connecting with like-minded people who want to help and build our community. Don't stay in an isolated state trying to do it all by yourself. You will be tired. In the same way that person who told me when I did not want to get the loan that I'm being selfish, I'm challenging you that by staying isolated to yourself, you are being selfish, because that
Mhm.
is about you. When there's an entire world that needs your time, your talent, your energy, and you can get the financial support you need by connecting to all of those, or all of us who want to expand our businesses. So it is a great organization to be a part of. And so anyone who's interested in a China trip, like Ambassador Kendra, this was an example of what I talked about earlier. Last year, Dr. Abdullah asked me to go. You see, and it's a perfect example of I didn't go. So,
Mhm.
so, but I definitely think it's great for anybody if you want to be a part of the conversation in China, and you know, really want to build your business and connect. And well, the other thing I love about them, they love people who are looking to take leadership. They love looking for people who are looking to take leadership roles, because they are looking for the World Conference of Mayors to continue to live and to have tremendous impact around the world. So they look for younger people, experienced people, anyone who wants to come in and give their time, their talent, and their energy. So I wanted to support the World Conference of Mayors by presenting it to our community and encouraging us to join and to learn to network and to reach out to all of them for the support and the services that they can provide you with. For me, I met a mayor in Texas, I think it was, and they had a Chinese company that was looking to come into their city and set up in their city to be able to build a manufacturing facility. And you know, for me, when you talking one country to the next and you building a project, that's like my love language. So being able to sit down and talk to him and help him understand that, and help him understand the tax incentives and the tax structures that I've seen in other parts of the world. I'm an international tax lawyer, so he has access to my mind by being a part of the World Conference of Mayors, and he can tap me anytime. And there's no fee, there's no charge. It's just a relationship that we build within the network. You understand? It's what the talent that we have, we can offer to build communities. And through this organization, you can actually impact cities. You can impact
Yes.
cities. So
Yes. Well, again, reach out to me anytime that you feel that I can help. As Dr. Ming has said, I write. As a matter of fact, just before I came on, Mayor Ford asked me to do a press release, and I'm going to have to get off in a minute to get that
okay.
press release out. But those are the kinds of things that we help each other with. I mean, we don't get paid necessarily in money, but we get paid in terms of, our ability to help and wanting to help and do it willingly. And we just miss Dr. Ming from being there every day, but we hope he'll come back and be with us. But we know that he has bigger and well things to get us involved in. Even many of us want to be better related. I know that I went to Ghana not long ago. Dr. Ming was over there helping me get situated, because he knew a lot about it. So that's the way we are, and we really, I know Kendra has worked very hard on the project in. The Gambia, and several of us are going there when she goes again in July. And we've been working on getting some help for our young sisters. We might think that we don't have a whole lot, but many of them have even less. And they're just so excited. We know the mayor there. He's a young mayor. And surprisingly, a male is the one who told us about it, right, Kendra? About our sisters that need. And it's something we can do. So we just look forward to being with you, working with you, networking with you even more. And come to the meeting anytime you wish. And we'll be happy to welcome you and, and help you when you need help.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ife Williams. We appreciate that. Thank you,
Okay.
Dr. Venga. We really appreciate that. And Ambassador Kendra from the World Conference of Mayors. Thank you all for joining us tonight. So as we close out, does anyone have any questions or comments that they would like to make? Anyone? Any questions or comments? Well, we hope that this has been very helpful for everyone. And our goal is to make us all stronger. And as I always love to say, I am your sister and servant, Melissa Muhammad. We are the Black and Global Business Network, globalizing our connections, keeping us in the Black, and we'll see you around the globe. Good night, everybody.
Good
And
night,
thank
dear. Love you. Take care. Love you.
Love you
Bye.
too.
Thank you, everyone.
And Dr. Ming is a great writer too. He's got a great book that he needs to tell you more about. Okay.
What's,
You
what's your
edited
book,
my
Dr.
book.
Ming? What is
Tell
your
him
book?
So I have I have two books. One of the
Well, his
Is
book
he
is
still
great on
on?
leadership. It's great on leadership. And we'll tell you more about it. We'll get the word to you for the exact name
Okay.
of it. Okay.
If,
Good
if you
night.
give me, I'll circulate it. All right.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you, dear. Okay. Bye-bye. Okay.